watching Last Dance?
I have every week. It's been crazy.
Yesterday was my favorite one.
What made it your favorite?
Just like everything about it, the Father's Day, the retirement, really got into his. They all get into his mind.
Yeah.
But yesterday, like really, just peeled the curtain back, and I guess I can relate. So that's like a big part of it. But everything that we saw yesterday really showed me, like, reminded me why he's my favorite. And what's funny is when he went away, I wasn't loyal to the Bulls anymore. And I love Nick Anderson, right? That was he was so scrappy. And when Nick Anderson picked his pocket, I was like, man, he just broke my heart. It was like my two favorites. I was like, yeah, man, like, I don't know how I feel about this. So I was happy for the Magic. And then, I don't know if you know your hoops history, he went on and missed 4 straight free throws against, man. Okay. So the Magic had a great team that year. Like, they showed parts of it.
I knew the lineup. I mean, Shaq and Penny alone was
but then you got Dennis Scott, Nick Anderson, Horace Grant.
Yeah.
They had some good little role players, too. And then they ran into Houston. Orlando had the lead in the first game, and all Nick Anderson had to do was make 1 out of 4 free throws. He missed all 4, man.
Missed 4. Wow.
He was like a 73% free throw shooter at the time, too. Just make 1.
Jeez.
And then after that, like, they just fell apart.
That's crazy.
I guess he lost. I guess it was like implied that he lost those 2 games against Seattle on purpose, just to win it on Father's Day, right? Was that like? Yeah. Is that what you took away from it?
Yeah. Because when he said, I think the part about the glove was hilarious.
That mean,
but
Gary Payton can never recover from that.
The laugh alone. The laugh alone.
Yeah.
The laugh alone was just crazy. Like, really? The glove?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We got Van Brooks with us today. Van's one of my closest friends. Gotten to know him really well over the years. We throw the word special around, but he's a very special man. Very fortunate to have gotten closer with him over the years. I'm also on the board for his charity, the Safe Foundation. So, Van, let's get right into it, man. Somebody that doesn't know anything about the charity that you run, give us like a quick rundown. Not a quick, we got all the time in the world, but let's get to the gist of it.
Yeah, so Safe Alternative Foundation for Education, I started back in 2012. Came to me in a dream. And the whole purpose of it is to teach students, and now I'm going to change, teach people about the importance of having an education and having a backup plan for life. And, my story and my journey of being an athlete, breaking my neck, and then going through my recovery, and the only thing I had was my education. And being, so focused on athletics, not having a backup plan was a killer for me. And so I spent a lot of years just trying to figure that out. And I want to prepare as many people as possible for, things that come up in life. As we're right now, facing COVID, a lot of people are struggling, and they're struggling. I'm not going to say they're strictly struggling because they didn't have a backup plan, but having a backup plan would have made some things a lot easier for some people. And so that's the whole mission, is to help people prepare for tough times, or when times don't go as they plan them.
So, you're actually the first person I thought of when shit hit the fan, and we had to come up with, a new plan for the business model. I'm like, man, this is Van's charity really is coming to the forefront now because, as you said, you've been working with kids all this time and telling them you got to have a backup plan for life in case, basketball or football or baseball's not there for you. Now we're seeing it with humanity, right? Because are you seeing a lot of people just give up? I mean, I'm seeing it.
Yeah, a lot of people they're definitely giving up. And I think it's one of those things, they've never been faced with anything like this. And, it's either you fight or you flight. And a lot of people are kind of folding under this. And, it's sad to see, but I'm trying to encourage as many people as possible. We will get through this.
Yeah, a lot of people are just content to collect that government check every week. It's sad, isn't it?
Man, that's sad. I'm not even going to go down that tangent that I can go down, that hole, man, because it's sad. It's sad. People would rather, sit back and collect the check than to actually try to get out and figure some things out. And no telling how long that check's going to last.
Let's rewind it. Talked about, breaking your neck, and I'm sure, gosh, it's been so long now that, I mean, definitely everybody in Maryland knows your story. And you talk about giving up, and obviously you didn't give up. You know, but you kind of downplay it a lot. You know, it is obviously horrific and it's tragic, you know, what happened that day, but you weren't just another football player in high school. Like, you were recruited and looked at by pretty much every major school in the country, and you never even thought twice about feeling bad for yourself. And of all the things that I admire about you, that's definitely number one, is every single one of us would have been like, man, that could have been me, that could have been me. You see it a lot with people that it couldn't have been. You know, like, oh, if I didn't have my knee injury, and then here you are, you know, you got it taken away from you on a routine play, and you just fought, and you've been such an inspiration to so many people, man. And well-known people, too, because, you know, Tori and Ray and everybody talks to me about how much you mean to them. You know, I think the only person that I can compare your fighting spirit to is probably O.J. Brigance. Yeah. Where do you think you get that from?
My dad. My dad, he's a...
See, now I knew you were going to say that, yeah. So I gave you a layup to tell the people about your dad. Because, you know, when we played that video at the football tournament of your father, you know, that just took over the room. Yeah. And I knew that's where you got it from, so that's why I wanted to get you in here.
Yeah, so my dad, he's no nonsense. He's wild. He says whatever comes to mind. He doesn't care how you feel about it. He's going to keep saying it. If he think you feel some type of way, he's definitely going to keep saying it. You know, and for him, he's always been pounding home the importance of having an education, even before, you know, my injury, and sending me to the school that he sent me to, you know, Loyola, and the sacrifices he had to make of getting me up at 6 a.m. to drop me off just so he can get down to work in time.
Let's pause it real quick, yeah. So we can just go over his daily sacrifice, right? You're from West Baltimore?
Yep.
And Loyola's obviously in Towson.
Yeah.
Classes don't start till 8.
Yep.
So let's go through what your dad did, not only financially, but every single day, Monday through Friday, for all those years to get you to Loyola.
Yeah. So it started around 5 o'clock. The routine, 5 o'clock he would come in, time to get up, lights on. Of course, I'm not getting up. A couple minutes later, he comes in, he's snatching the covers off. Time to get up. Of course, not getting up. Then he's even coming in with two things. He's coming in with water, or he's coming in with a fan, one or the other. And he's blasting me out, and to the point where I'm pissed off, I'm upset, and we're fighting at this point. He's dragging me down the hallway to the bathroom, trying to get me together. And we literally did this for years. And eventually I gave up and said, you know, I'm tired of getting beat up all this time, so I'm just going to go with the program. But I was getting to school about 6:30, and literally when I was first getting there, you know, depending on the time of the year, the sun wasn't even up. Mm-hmm. So I'm literally sitting outside.
And this is because your dad's a longshoreman, and he had to get to work?
Yeah, so at the time he wasn't a longshoreman. He had taken a break, and he was doing some stuff with housing. Mm-hmm. So he, you know, coming back, taking me out to house and coming back on to Cherry Hill, doing work there. And so I think he had to be there around 7:15. Mm. So I was literally outside until the maintenance people came. And then eventually some of the maintenance people started coming early, and they started letting me in the building. And then some of my friends started coming when they realized I was there so early. But that went on for years.
But then how did you get picked up? Because you were playing sports.
Yeah, my mother would come pick me up. Yeah, so my mother worked for MTA. And so my mother was already gone. She was at work. So my dad was taking me, dropping me off in the morning. She was picking me up in the evening. And so it was, I mean, it was rough for me, but I can only imagine what they had to go through.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And it really made you appreciate not only their sacrifice, but really buy into their vision, right? Like, if they're going through this to get me here, there's got to be a reason.
It was after the fact, though. It was during, I was a selfish kid.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I got to get up super early in the morning, but it was definitely after I went through everything. It was like, I see the point, right? I see the reason why they were doing that, and it definitely makes you appreciate it for sure.
So you grew up in West Baltimore. You still live in West Baltimore.
Still live in West Baltimore.
And your Safe Center, a physical building that was made possible through your charity, is in West Baltimore.
Yep, 2 blocks from my house. So
you're not just starting a charity and selling out, quote unquote, your community. You're in there. You're in the trenches.
Yeah.
What are you seeing?
Sometimes you see hope, but then sometimes you don't see anything. It's just because it's normalized now, right? My community and a lot of communities like mine, people will come in temporarily and then they're gone. And so it's hard for people to really get attached to things or to really, see too much hope outside of what's in front of them. And so that's tough. But one thing I will say though, right? And it's crazy to say, but when you have people that grew up in the struggle and that's all they know, this is nothing.
To walk in the park, right?
Right. This is just like something else I got to navigate, right? And so that's another thing that I'm seeing right now. It's just something else everyone's navigating, figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, and you're an example of that because I've seen you've totally flipped the switch on the way you operate the charity. So you're having, for example, online workouts right now. I saw Ray did one with his wife. You have Mr. Lucas coming on, Super Bowl champion.
This week, yeah.
So, I mean, just talk about how you personally, as a person running this charity, has had to adapt on the fly. Yeah. I mean, you're really, it should be a walk in the park because it's kind of like, hey, this is what I've been telling you. You got to have a backup plan. And now I'm going to show you again, for a second time in my life, how to put that backup plan or these skill sets that I told you to, sharpen and that education and all that good stuff. I'm going to put it to use again. Yeah. So if you didn't believe me the first time, I'm going to show it to you again.
Yeah, man. And so what happened with this when this all was happening, I'm always thinking, way down the line. And when all this was happening, what we actually did though, we took a step back. We took a step back, and I met with my team, and I said, we're going to wait and see what happens these next couple of weeks, because we learned from what happened with the uprisings. Everyone rushed in, and they were spending a lot of the same resources, or spending resources on the same things, trying to fix the same things. And when it was all said and done, there were a lack of resources left. And so for us, it's okay. We don't want to. We're going to learn from that. And I'm not calling that a mistake, but we're going to learn from that. And so we took a step back to see exactly what was happening. And again, everyone's rushing in, doing their thing, and I started seeing that they were spending resources on the same things. But one of the things that wasn't happening was programming wasn't continuing. And so for us, it was, okay, well, there's clearly the gap. If we can address the technology aspect of things, which for our families that we work with, we definitely made sure they have what they need. For some of the other people in the community, if they needed things and we had extra, we helped out where we could. But there were no programming. And so for us, instead of us saying, okay, we're going to offer program, not only are we going to offer programming, but we're going to open it up to everyone. Because at this time, families are together. And there may be one laptop in the house. And so we don't want to exclude people. We want families to come together, and then that's what we did. We started off with just 2 programs, and then now we're up to 4 a week. But
it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because I know this. The money's not coming in now, right? So you're a charity, you're a nonprofit, but you need money to operate, right? So because of this, obviously donations aren't coming in. Obviously, number one, you can't do events, and correct me if I'm wrong, you lost a grant as well, right?
Yep.
So let's talk about that, and let's talk about how we can hopefully, as a community, as Jimmy's and people watching this and listening to this, can hopefully make up some of that lost income.
Yeah. So for the past 5 years, just going on 5th year, we'll be running a summer camp. We received a grant to run that summer camp, and we lost that grant. And
because of COVID-19?
So no, we actually didn't lose it because of COVID-19.
Okay.
I don't know why we lost the grant, but we didn't get it. Got to reapply every year, and we didn't get it this year. And so we were scrambling, trying to figure out how we were going to continue to offer our summer camp. And pretty much what the summer camp serves a lot of different purposes. During the academic year, our students receive meals. And of course, when summer's in, those meals aren't there. So one, we provide meals to all of our students who come to summer camp. The next thing is academic year, students are in school from 8 to 3. Summertime, that's time that they have to do whatever it is that they want to do. And a lot of times, boredom is the devil's playground. And so we keep our students active during those times that they would have been in school. So we 8 to 4 is what our summer camp will run. So that's the other thing. The last thing is, and one of the major, really important things is the education gap. there's already a huge education gap between city school students, not all, but most city school students and some of the private schools. And that gap sometimes widens during the summertime because there isn't any academics happening. The summer slide is what it's called. And so we help to reduce that summer slide. And now that we've lost funding, we need to still provide this summer camp for our students. And of course, it's probably going to look a little different due to COVID. Virtually, we're going to be doing that, but hopefully we will be able to do some things face to face with our students. But that's the biggest thing right now that we're looking to raise some funding for.
Yeah, so we'll get involved, and of course, we'll provide links to donate. But once things settle up here, we'll know what we are and aren't allowed to do, and we'll put together some events for you for sure. One of the events, my second favorite event, maybe my favorite event, is of course our flag football tournament. We just had our second one, and it feels like forever ago because of the virus, but the week after the Super Bowl, I mean, how cool is that? It's really cool, but it's got a lot of like poetic meaning to it, I guess, because it's held at Loyola. It brings people from the city to see the school. Like, there's like a lot of like underlying symbolism there, you know?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
For sure.
I just love it. So let's backtrack a little bit to your playing careers. I mean, you were pretty much Mr. Loyola at the time. We didn't go to school together, but I knew who you were because the school loved you. You know, you were just the poster boy for the school. Like, I mean, you still obviously are extremely charismatic. You played lacrosse too, right?
Yeah.
So of course, Loyola loves the lacrosse players, and that's great. But just to talk about, there's an understanding there from people that went there, for the most part, of the lessons that you learned there, the Ignatian principles, and did you go on Kairos?
I did.
So, what did you take away from that? I think everybody's different, obviously.
Yeah. So my Kairos experience was a little crazy because I was just coming back to school, and so I actually wasn't going to go because I didn't think it was accessible, and there were a lot of accommodations that had to be made because I wasn't independent at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I mean I was all over the place emotionally. I cried probably the entire time I was there because my dad had to be a part of the process with me.
So he came with you?
Yeah, he was there with me.
Wow.
Because, I needed help. And so it was emotional just to say the least.
So for those, most don't know. So Kairos is what, 4 or 5 days?
Yeah.
To retreat, no phones. Is there still no phones?
Nothing.
'Cause I'm a lot older than you.
No phones. Yep, nothing.
And then the last night, you get this envelope, and it's full of letters from your classmates.
Yeah. Hopefully no one's listening. Then they're going to know what's happening.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hope no kids from Loyola. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for you, but you get this letter. This envelope full of letters from, 30 to 100 people.
Yeah.
And it just all your classmates and these people that you've known for between 4 and 7 years, or maybe longer if you knew each other before the school, and people in your personal life, your parents and your brothers. Just putting pen to paper and letting you know how they feel about you. And that's when, the waterworks, really start.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's when you, I guess, realize that you're loved.
Yeah,
everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
And you have a responsibility to all these people, right? Mm-hmm. So, how'd that go for you? I know it crushed me.
Yeah, no, same. I was up all night trying to read those things, crying the whole time. Because a lot of those letters were memories from when mm-hmm. I first got there, but a lot of them also was we're happy that you're here, especially like I said, I just came off my injury. I was maybe a year into it, and so it was all just reading those letters about that. It was wild. It was wild. I probably
you still have them. I still have mine.
I do. Yeah. I still do. Yeah. It's hundreds of them. It was a lot of them.
I bet. my fiance has your bracelet from when she was in I guess you guys were in high school at the same time. And she's like, oh, that's the Van Brooks from the first time she met you. I'm like,
Van Vans. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the whole state had those, right?
Yeah. it's crazy because I still see people with them. So they came out with another version of them, but the original ones were the cloth ones.
Okay.
And so I still see people with some of the cloth ones. I'm just like, I don't even have any of those.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
It just shows you how much people love you, though. I mean, how you ever, like, not just on a personal level, but on a professional level, and a lot of us are guilty of not doing this, but have you ever just looked back and looked at how far you've come professionally with the charity? Because I remember when we had dinner in the dining room, when we first met, you were like, I want to do this. And I was like, man, it's going to be tough. And then you did it. I mean, in no time. So if you look back at, man, it's 2020, just 5 years ago, this was all a dream.
No, I definitely do look back and think about it. It usually comes in the times when I need some motivation. When I'm kind of down and I'm discouraged about some things, whatever it may be, it's like can't be as hard on you. Can't be too hard on yourself. Look how far you've come in this short amount of time, and that really pushes me forward. But I do it. I've been doing it a lot lately, especially trying to figure out what our next steps are going to be. Not knowing what's going on with COVID.
Yeah, not knowing, I think, is the hardest part right now. Just the uncertainty.
Yeah.
And it's just having that cloud over your head.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's bothering people the most. Because if you know what you got to do to get over an obstacle, you sign me up. I'll do it. I'll do step 1, step 2, and step 3. But just not knowing, I think, is just the ultimate killer right now. And I think this is how I feel. This is how you feel, too. I'm going to ask you. I feel like in the beginning, there was a lot of people came together, and you really saw a lot of beautiful things in humanity. And I feel like right now people are really becoming restless and angry. I think you're just really seeing a lot of negativity out there right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you see that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I think, the restless piece is definitely one of them, and people are the effects are really starting to kick in
mentally.
Yeah.
I think it sounds crazy, but not being able because of the mask to see people smile, it's like killing it.
Yeah. That people not coming out. It's a lot going on right now, and then people are definitely getting to that breaking point.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the articles, but I'm not clicking on them about depression and suicide, and it's inevitable, right?
Yeah, I'm staying away from those as well.
The weather's not helping. It's getting colder instead of warmer.
Yeah,
a lot of rain. It's scary, man. It's and this is when leaders got to come through and assure everybody it's going to be together.
Yeah. It's
Who you, speaking of leaders, do you have a preference for mayor? Do you want to share it or no?
Nah,
keep it, my man. Yeah. Smart. Republicans buy sneakers too, right? Oh, man. So your father, now he's a longshoreman. Is he retired yet?
That man's not. He's
never going to retire.
Nah.
So how's it going, with your relationship with your father? I know you've gotten closer over the years.
Yeah.
With everything that happened. Just talk about how your relationship with your father's evolved over time.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. We have like a brother relationship. We argue all day. He's either yelling at me about something, and I'm yelling at him about something. But the turning point was really that video, the LinkedIn video.
Really?
Yeah, because him and we never had a conversation about my injury. Never once had it until that day. And so what happened was we were in the car for 3 hours, drove up to New York to film. And so they didn't even know he was coming with me. He wasn't supposed to be a part of it.
Wow.
And so when we got there, the lady's like, "Oh, who are you?" And he's like, it's my son." And so a lot of the footage that was recorded, we didn't even know they were recording. Like when he was helping me with the tie and all, we didn't even know they were recording. And so when I was talking, I had said, because he never heard that I tried to give up. And I heard him, he said something in the background. And you can see he was emotional. And then they asked him, well, would you mind, getting on camera? And he was like, look what I have on. I'm like, no, I'm not getting on camera. And they talked him into it. And so that was my first time hearing his side. And then after, of course, we stayed up in New York for a while. Then we had that 3-hour drive back where we were able to really talk about. And the question I asked him was pretty much how did you get through it? And he was just like, I did what I had to do that day.
Mm.
And reflecting back on it, when I was going through what I was going through, it was kind of the same thing. He never said that to me, but it was like, whatever I need to do today to get through the day, I just what I need to do, because tomorrow's going to be another day. Tomorrow's going to be another challenge.
Yeah.
And I just got to keep doing that, and eventually I'm going to see some good days. And that's what we share, and our relationship is, really, really good because of that conversation, that drive.
That's a great attitude to have, especially now, right?
Yeah.
How about your relationship with God?
Great.
How is that stronger?
Yeah, for sure. It's non-existent back then when I was going through everything, and then once I realized the purpose in it all, and I actually found the church home. Mad I can't get there, missing it. Watch it online, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
But no, the relationship was good. It's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your physical progress, because I saw you posted a status update the other day.
Yeah.
What were you able to do with your foot?
Yeah, I was able to pick it up and put it on the foot plate.
First time?
First time. Yeah.
I mean, how'd that make you feel?
It was wild. It was wild because it was something. I get nerve pain when I try to move my legs.
Mm-hmm. So it physically hurts?
Yeah. So sometimes I just don't even mentally be ready to deal with it, because it's not something that comes and then goes. It's there pretty much for the day. Once I start that, once I start it, it's there.
Yeah.
And that's why my physical therapy is so hard, just because I'm mentally just like, let's make it, let's make it happen. And then once I'm done, even though it's for an hour, I'm drained for the rest of the day, really. And so I was just sitting on the bed about the transfer, and I was just like, lift up, right? Like look down, like go, and it's started, and I'm starting. Let's see what happens. And I was able to do it, and I started doing trying to do the other foot, but I almost spasmed into the floor. So I was like, I'm gonna call it quits for the day. But yeah, no, it was cool though. It was cool. The fact that I'm almost 16 years in and I'm still getting things back.
It's been that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, September will be 16.
16 years?
Half my life. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much progress have you made from the beginning to now, physically?
Oh, it's night and day. It's night and day.
You're driving, which a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, so I'm driving. I actually started driving my senior year.
Didn't somebody from Loyola create that?
His dad owned
Okay,
it.
Yeah. I remember they messaged me once.
Yep, his dad
to introduce themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. And then they were like, oh, by the way, we did this for film. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Physically, I'm good. Right now, it's just small things. You learn to appreciate the small things, like lifting my foot up. And it was only a couple of inches, but that's major. It's getting better. I haven't been able to really get into the gym because of this. And I haven't been doing any home workouts other than lifting the fork to my mouth. But that'll change. That'll change soon.
That's wild, man. All right, let's wrap it up. So we'll, of course, attach all links to this when we post and post frequently. One takeaway, man, between yourself and the charity, for everybody at home, most of you know who you are, but for those who don't know who you are and who the charity benefits and the great work that you do in the city, from the city, which is crazy, just let people know how to help Safe out.
So we're always looking for volunteers, of course, monetary donations. Right now we're doing virtual stuff, and so we're actually going to be putting together a virtual career day. Well, it's going to last a week. So anyone's interested in showcasing what they do for a living, their companies, definitely hit us up.
All right. When do you plan on doing this?
Probably in like 2 weeks. We're still trying to work through it.
So they should contact you as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to fill up.
So it's going to be a week.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get some people in there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. So one a day.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I could talk to you and talk about you the rest of my life, man. You are, I hate giving this word so much play, but it's true, special, man. You are, you're one of a kind, man. You're my brother. You know that.
Yes, sir.
You're stuck with me, like I always tell you. But, it sounds corny, but anytime I'm having a bad day, man, I look at, you and how far you've come, and I know there's no excuse for anything. and I see your smile, and it's just it brightens my day, man, and it keeps me going. And I'm very thankful that God brought you into my life. Many years apart, but we got the Loyola connection, so it's like it never happened. All right, everybody, it's Van Brooks, the one and only. Google him, check out his LinkedIn profile. I think everybody could use it right now. Extremely motivational, extremely inspirational, and just somebody that puts me at a loss for words, and as we all know, that doesn't happen often. So thanks for tuning into the Crabcast. You know who I am, Van Brooks. Thanks for listening.